Oh, I'm gonna offend a lot of people today. Hi, if you don't know me, my name is Catherine, and I just have some thoughts to share about an issue I'm seeing in the political landscape of discussion. The Western social cultural perspective is the prevailing opinion when it comes to which topics remain at the forefront of political sociometry. And that is just defined as the study of human relationships within a group of people, and that is a problem. Since all the way back to 2020, the interests that have shaped the cultural zeitgeist, from the Me Too movement to Black Lives Matter, the pandemic, wars on geopolitical theory and unrest, all of these discussions have been in large part fashioned by Western thought, and that needs to change. Not because the West necessarily needs to be, put in their place for their entitlement, because they will always assume that position for as long as their economic advantage overbears any peripheral standard, but because I believe that imposing Western thought, or more specifically, Americanized thought, onto a cultural dynamic divorced from the historical relevance that undergirds that ideology is dangerous. What do I mean? We don't have the same history. We don't have the same nuances. We won't even identify with the same language the West uses in defining their arguments or their divisions. A very basic example is the terms, quote, left and right. I don't like these terms. Those terms have very little argumentative weight in the cultural climates like those within Africa or the Middle East, simply because they don't really exist. A more specific and volatile example is the transnational interplay in the context of war, the oversimplification of religion and cultural identity. It's part and parcel of the reason I think there exists so much outrage over, a simple discussion like, okay, can billionaire Elon Musk call himself a quote-unquote white African? Or why is the singer Zendaya biracial, benefiting from what I see many Western opinions identify as colorism, but Tyler, a South African music artist, isn't biracial, yet she experiences a very specific exposure to privilege, discrimination, and cultural identity, an exposure very much divorced from the Western climate. If you didn't know, Tyler is South African, and, well, I am from South Africa. I grew up in South Africa. I live in South Africa. And colored here means a completely different thing to colored there. She is not biracial. And the Western thought doesn't seem to understand that. I am not saying that we can't appreciate Western dialogue. All I'm saying is that we need to be careful in imposing their terms and applying their solutions to climates divergent from theirs. Our set of problems here in Africa is unique. There are certain ideologies, certain experiences, certain nuances that exist in some places and don't exist in others. Sometimes the West is having their discussion at one table and it's so good, it's interesting, everyone is invested. But we need to be having our own discussion, not at their table, not even at the table on the right, not even at the table next door, but 3 flights over in our own countries at the tables we built for ourselves. Thanks so much for listening. I will see you next time. Take care and goodbye.